about his golf theory.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for having us.
Which helps to create a run in front of the ball. So when I'm looking at putting, there's like three major components that are all interacting together. What would they be? Three main skills required to be a good putter, let's say.
Putter.
Yeah.
Roll.
Ball roll. In what sense?
After you hit it, how the ball reacts determines quite a lot of the accuracy.
Are you talking about
roll evenly?
This roll?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would agree, and we'd call that your ability to start the ball on line and direct the ball where you want. Yeah. So we'll call that start line control.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is really a combination of path and face. Face being obviously the most important part. And then we have, what's next? What's one of the other? Yeah, three.
What is it?
Talk about those two balls. One is long, one is short.
Yep.
So what's that represent?
Speed.
Speed. Yep. So that's another skill requirement. So we have speed up, downhill, different speeds of greens, all that sort of stuff.
Reading.
The third one is read.
Yep.
So they're the three basic skills of putting. Within those skills, there's lots that we could dive into for sure. Speed control is huge because especially becomes more important from probably 15 to 20 feet outside of that. So we're kind of getting into three putt avoidance. When I'm looking at a putt up the hill here, I'm not really looking at your ability to start the ball on line because it doesn't really matter. I mean, if I set you a target 3 feet right, 3 feet left, if I place two water bottles there and said roll the ball through there, you could probably do it every time. So that's not that difficult to do, and you'd always two putt if you had the speed right. So that becomes more of a speed idea. When we get into this range, we'll call it like 10 feet and in, now start line becomes super important. So almost chop, let's say, my instruction into three main parts. And even when I'm talking about short putts versus medium putts versus long putts, I'll chop that up a little bit as well. If we were to just talk about start line, and I'm really looking at your ability to aim, where you aim, how you stroke the ball, and how the ball's starting where you want. Mostly inside 10 feet, you're talking 1.5 cups or less. I'd say mostly. You got to get really good at aiming at cup out, edges, and inside when you get closer.
Speed, reading, and basically aiming.
Well, aiming is
start line.
Potential start line, but it's not. I mean, it's a bit like you could have the club face wide open with your iron shot and hit the ball left every time because you do something through the putt with the face, or should say through the swing. The aim at impact doesn't always represent the aim, let's say, pre-swing before. I mean, did we ever do a Sam Putt Lab? Have you ever been on Sam Putt Lab?
Sam Putt, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got Sam Putt Lab upstairs. I would tend to use that when we're talking starting the ball on line, short putts. Lots of tips and tricks and tools that I use for different. Have you seen the templates?
Templates, yeah.
That you lay on the ground. That can be shallow arcs or wide arcs. They can be good just to kind of at least manage or get a good sense of what you're trying to do with the stroke. Have you used those before?
Yeah.
So that's something I would use to manage like arc and start line. Just start with this and just make some strokes for me.
Okay.
When you're stroking there, does that feel like you have to arc the putter a lot? Does it feel pretty natural for you?
Feels I have to arc quite a lot.
Okay, so it's quite conscious. Take your left hand for me. Okay, that's about where you usually have your left hand?
Yes.
You use reverse overlap?
Just like that.
Good. You just hold it there. Lower it down for me. Okay. I would, if anything, leave your arm in this position, but I want to bring your right hand a bit more underneath, just a little bit more.
Like that.
Yeah, but you can leave your arm basically in that position for me. It should make it a little bit easier with your hand position.
Yeah. Now, because my right hand is a bit underneath, it feels a lot easier to kind of move. Yeah. Make an arc.
Yep. Let's hit a few more putts there. I'm just going to film one over the top of you. Yeah, go for it. I mean, this is a really easy way to just film someone's arc, and you can also see how the face is matching at each point.
Yep.
I think you do a pretty nice job here, to be fair. Not bad at all. I mean, if you just did that, you'd have a reasonable start line control.
Right.
When you set your right hand on top, it's going to tend to do that. Yeah, because I mean, just how your hand sits. I think that might be something that is a little challenging for you in the short term.
Right.
And just to tighten this up a little bit, if your face is only half a degree open or closed, you'll get through there. Anything more, you'll hit left or right.
Okay.
Face is going to have 85-90% influence on the start line, and often like where you strike it, let's say in the center of the putt as well, is like pretty important.
It's amazing.
Let's do a few more of these.
It's so much easier to
manage the path.
To manage, Just so many little things that I learned today. Just ball position and just the right hand a bit more underneath.
But everything looks pretty good. Your ball roll, I usually like to see the ball roll under the ball under left eye, which looks like it is. You've just got a soft amount of shaft lean, which also looks pretty good. That's really the only skill that you need to do for start line. When you're standing over that, does that look pretty straight?
As in
just that?
By aiming? Or?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I will do this with you, just because it's something I would often do with better players anyway. So using like this T-line, which is a little extended, goes kind of through the middle of that.
Okay.
Just set your face behind that like you've been doing. Putter face, I mean.
Okay.
Yep. Now I want you to kind of scan your eyes along that T-line and tell me if it looks like, if that line continued to the hole, does it look like it's going to touch the hole?
Yep.
It does.
It does.
Yep. So that's often something I will check on to make sure that your, say, perception of how you stand and visually like what you're seeing matches. Often if that's skewed, you can tend to see students will misalign the putter face.
Even if they have good stroke or good technique, if that's not right?
I would often say if they don't see straight, sometimes the stroke will get pushed in a direction that matches what they see. So an example might be if you took your setup, and this is not anything that you need to change, of course, this is just more a bit of information. And if I said to you, stand, let's say 4 inches further away from the ball with your feet. Yep, good. Now when you scrolled up and you look there, does it change?
It feels it's going to go to the right.
Okay, so imagine that that was your default setup and things look way to the right. If I took all this away and you did that, there's a good chance that you would point the putter in a direction just to make sure that it felt straight.
Right.
So what we're trying to do, really at any level, is try and bring visually what you're seeing over the golf ball with the face, if you use a line on the ball with the putter face to the target, as close as possible to the target. So at least we start off with reasonable aim, which obviously then flows into like controlling the face, the path, that sort of stuff.
Nice. Perfect.
It's a good little drill.